Welcome to the machine.
You know what? I don't know what to do.
Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain.
Welcome to the new age. To the new age. Welcome to the new age. Welcome to the new age. Welcome to the new age. Waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. Breaking in and shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa.
More than 11,000 scientists signed a petition calling for population control as a means of combating climate change. That's this week's Speak Out segment. In an article published Tuesday in the journal Bioscience, the scientists wrote that Earth is, quote, facing a climate emergency. They argued that population control was a necessary response to this emergency, writing, quote, the world population must be stabilized and ideally gradually reduced. This ideology is dangerous because it suggests that reducing the human population is the best solution to our problems. And who gets to decide which populations are controlled? The UN? Individual countries? Intellectual elites? For years, there's been a push to shove birth control and abortion down the throats of women in developing countries who don't want either, by the way. We don't get to pick who is desirable or useful enough to reproduce and who should be restricted in the name of the common good. That's called eugenics, and it can lead down a slippery slope to things like ethnic cleansing and genocide.
We're meeting at a unique time in history. Never have more people been more aware of the importance of vaccines. As we race to develop the COVID-19 vaccine, we must also renew our commitment to delivering every life-saving vaccine there is to every child on Earth.
As the coronavirus has shown, there are no borders. It doesn't discriminate. It's mean, it's nasty, but we're going to all take care of it together. It's great to be partnering with you. We will work hard. We will work strong. Send my regards to Boris, and good luck.
I've done so many terrible things. But what we are doing is right.
Did you just say right?
Brown people, white people, Jews. I assume you're referring to Carvel's supposed paper on eugenics. But Carvel was misunderstood.
Yeah. Just like Hitler.
He wasn't talking about race. He was talking about survival. We've now passed 7 billion on this planet. When I was born, it was a little over 2. Food prices are rising. Oil is ending. When our resources end in 20 years, given everything that we know of our species, do you really think we're going to just share?
So your answer to that is some kind of genocide?
No, it is not. It is not genocide. Our answer to this is Janus. Janus consists of a protein and an amino acid. Independently of each other, they're harmless. But when they're brought together in the subject, they act as a genetic trigger that prevents chromosomal division. The cell targeted can no longer replicate itself and is thereby rendered useless. The change is permanent and hereditary.
To defeat coronavirus, we must focus our collective ingenuity on the search for a vaccine and ensure that countries, pharmaceutical companies and international partners like the World Health Organization cooperate on a scale beyond anything we've seen before. You can count on our full contribution as together we rise to fulfill the greatest shared endeavor of our lifetimes, the triumph of humanity over disease.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
And which cells are targeted?
Those that control fertility, Becky. The purpose of Janus is to sterilize. The purpose of Janus is to sterilize the entire human race.
Tell me what's
it's possible
to do.
That in 15 or 20 years we can completely redo it. If we have to mobilize, this is how important it is, and how important that we do it quickly. We have to mobilize the same way we did when we entered World War II in 1941. We have to fully mobilize everything we have and put it into changing the energy system over. And not just here in the United States, but all over the world. It's going to be the biggest business project in the history of the world. Fortunes, billions of dollars are going to be made. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to be employed. We're going to have clean air. We're going to have so many benefits from it. It's not going to cost us anything. Once we get going with it, it's not going to cost us anything. Only the people that don't understand it think it's going to. Not doing it will be catastrophic. We'll have 8 degrees. We'll be 8 degrees hotter in 30 or 40 years, and basically none of the crops will grow. Most of the people will have died, and the rest of us will be cannibals. Civilization will have broken down. What the few people that are left will be living in a failed state like Somalia or Sudan. And living conditions will be intolerable. The droughts will be so bad there'll be no more corn growing. Not doing it is suicide. Just like dropping bombs on each other, nuclear weapons is suicide. So we've got to stop doing the two suicidal things, which are hanging on to our nuclear weapons
and global
and then after that we've got to stabilize the population. When I was born, there were
what's wrong with the population? I mean,
with too many people. That's why we have global warming. We have global warming because too many people are using too much stuff. But if there were less people, they'd be using less stuff.
I can't really remember when I last had any hope. And I certainly can't remember when anyone else did either. Because really, since women stopped being able to have babies, what's left to hope for?
Illegal immigrants, taking them to Bexhill. Poor Fugees, after escaping the worst atrocities and finally making it to England, our government hunts them down like cockroaches.
Listen, I don't quite know what's going on.
You can't leave.
Key, I'm in a lot of trouble myself. I'm sorry.
Wait!
What are you doing? Don't do that.
I'm scared. Please help me.
Jesus Christ.
King! What are you doing?
Everybody's arrived. She's pregnant. Now you know what's at stake. But she's pregnant.
Yeah, I know. It's a miracle, isn't it?
You can forget about Winsmore. We'd never make it in time.
No, it's our only chance. We can't come to Bexhill. That's a refugee camp.
Eureka. Eat and rest. With a little bit of luck, you're going to need all your energy.
Where are you going?
Feed her for me, Theo. Key, your baby is the miracle the whole world's been waiting for. Shanty, shanty, shanty. Shanty, shanty, shanty. Feed her for me, Theo. Key, your baby is the miracle the whole world's been waiting for.
How many months?
It takes 9 months.
I know. Who's the father?
We fed. I'm a virgin.
Sorry?
Cha, be wicked, eh?
Yeah, it would.
We need to get Janice.
We're not going, Theo.
What are you talking about?
Well, you don't need an anchor.
No, Jasper, you're coming.
You need time. We'll stall him. I'll send him the wrong way. It's the best idea. Go on.
We need to get Janice.
As the sound of the playgrounds faded, the despair set in. Very odd. What happens in a world without children's voices? I was there at the end.
Now you're going to be there at the beginning.
Yeah. I'll be there at the beginning.
Младенец мой прекрасный, баюшки, баю.
What you got there?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
No?
Like to show me?
I don't have anything. It's nothing.
Well,
I
if
don't
it's
have
nothing,
anything.
then I can have a look.
It's nothing.
Let me see.
No.
Let me see. It's okay. Let me see. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
That's right. We got a baby.
It's hard for me to look at you. He had your eyes.
A fundamental thing for this film was involvement of the actors.
I can't really remember when I last had any hope. And I certainly can't remember when anyone else did either. Because really, since women stopped being able to have babies, what's left to hope for?
The ultimate mystery. Why are women infertile? Some say it's genetic experiments, pollution. Why do you think we can't make babies anymore?
Doesn't matter. It's all over in 50 years. It's too late.
Move along! Move along!
Hello, Theo. Have you been? I'm sorry about the theatrics. Police have been a pain lately.
I haven't seen you for nearly 20 years.
Need your help. Not for me, a girl. Need to get her to the coast, past security checkpoints.
Your baby is the miracle the whole world has been waiting for.
We will find a way to get you to the Human Project, I promise you.
We're almost there, Keith. We're almost there.
Back now is CNN founder Ted Turner, and joining us, the president of Turner's UN Foundation, former Senator Tim Wirth. Welcome to you, Tim. Pretty extraordinary thing to have done, to give $1 billion of your own money away, right?
Well, what it did is it, more than just itself, it set a precedent for so many other people to give money while they're young and vibrant and alive and not after they die. I mean, look at what Gates has done, what Buffett's done, and all of the big giving that's now occurring from people. Ted was the first, and I can brag on that. You know, getting Forbes magazine to make a list of who are the biggest donors, not just who are the richest people, but who are the biggest donors, who's being the most generous, who's contributing back, other than the sort of safe churches and universities and so on, who's really working on the basic issues of our country and the world.
Ted, what do you think America's place in the new world order should be? It's always been seen as the global policeman. But as you said before, you know, it's hard to see with all these military conflicts where the winner and loser lies. What should America be doing
I think
globally?
The global policeman should be the United Nations.
Just relax. That's it, lovely. Now, you may feel a small... Christ! Prick. What is it? Cutting-edge nanotechnology. Smart blood. Microchips in your bloodstream allows us to track your movements in the field.
Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered. That is their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
Dr. Floyd? Well, thank you, Dr. Halverson. Hi, everybody. Nice to be back with you. Now, I know there have been some conflicting views held by some of you regarding the need for complete security in this matter. More specifically, your opposition to the cover story, created to give the impression there's an epidemic at the base.
Dr. Floyd, have you any idea how much longer this cover story will have to be maintained?
I don't know, Bill. I suppose it'll be maintained as long as deemed necessary by the council. And of course there must be adequate time for a full study to be made of the situation before any thought can be given to making a public announcement. Oh. Were there any more questions?
And the more people get vaccinated, the faster we're going to beat this pandemic. That's why one of my first goals in office, when I was just before I was sworn in, I indicated that my goal was to get 100 million COVID vaccine shots in people's arms in my first 100 days as president. At first, critics said that goal was too ambitious. No one could do that. Then they said it was too small. That the bottom line, though, is that America will be the first country, perhaps the only one, to get that done. And today, I'm here to report we're halfway there. 50 million shots in just 37 days since I've become president. That's weeks ahead of schedule, even with the setbacks we faced during the recent winter storms, which devastated millions of Midwestern cities, towns, and also the same in the South. We're moving in the right direction, though, despite the mess we inherited from the previous administration, which left us with no real plan to vaccinate all Americans. And every time we administer another 50 million shots, I'm going to use that milestone to report to the American people on our vaccination program and on our overall fight against this pandemic. The good and the bad, I'll tell you, the success and the failures. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. The story of this vaccination campaign is like the story of everything hard and new America does. Some confusion and setbacks at the start, and then if we do the right things, we have the right plan to get things moving. That's what we're seeing right now. We're going to launch a massive campaign to educate people about vaccines, that they are safe and effective, and where to go to get those shots in the first place.
We are not saying that guns are the only reason that mass shootings continue to occur. We are saying that they factor in, and we are demanding that someone repeat the experiment that so many other countries have carried out and simply see if it yields the same results. Enough is enough!
The floating eye here is variously interpreted. Some people see the work of Freemasons in it. Some people just see this as the divine eye of providence. It's a debate for the ages.
This is the moment Japan's nuclear disaster began. A giant tsunami wave crashes into the Fukushima Daiichi power plant.
So I have just one word for Mr. Trump. Basta. Enough!
But a bright line in the sand, and we will protect you, that I can tell you, and we will say enough is enough. What's the meaning of this?
You'll find out in 30 years!
Under the Milky Way tonight.
20 42 minutes, 12 seconds. That is when the world will end.
But I want to be president of the United States to make sure that we never again do business. We never again. I went down there and talked to the president of Panama about cleaning up their money.
42 minutes, 12 seconds. That is when the world
Basic principles of time travel are there. You got your vessel and your portal. The vessel can be just about anything, most likely a spacecraft.
Like the Lord.
Hellcraft.
You know, I love that movie, the way they shot it. It's so,
6
like futuristic.
Yeah? 42 minutes, 12 seconds. That is when the world will end.
But I want to be a president of the United States to make sure that we never again do business. That we never again do the same country. I went down there and talked to the president of Panama about cleaning up their money laundering.
It leads you here, despite your destination, under the Milky Way tonight.
6 hours.
And they overlaid the image with pure gold, and Aaron fashioned it and smoothed it with the hammer, ready to be graven by cunning art and man's device. And the people sinned a great sin, for they had made them a god of gold. And they bore him upon their shoulders and rejoiced, saying, "This be our God, O Israel."
Hello, this is a message for President Donald Trump. My name is Tommy Zegan, and I am from Tommy Zegan Originals. I made this sculpture of you. It's a caricature of Mr. Trump. It's called Trump and His Magic Wand, and I think you know why. All the great stuff that you've done in the last 4 years for our country. And I would like to present it to you and hopefully have it displayed in the Trump Library someday. You can do whatever you want with it, but it's 6 foot 3 inches tall, kind of the same height as you are, and it's made out of 316 stainless steel. It weighs about 600 pounds. So if you see this message, you can get a hold of me at my website, TommyZegan.com, all one word. And also, if you see this and you would like to forward this message to @RealDonaldTrump.com, that would be great. And hopefully you'll get this message.
Be it known unto thee, O King, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Whoa! and down my clothes. It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red to fit right in. Whoa. I'm breaking in and shaping up and checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones enough to make my systems grow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm radioactive, radioactive. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm radioactive, radioactive. All systems go. Sun hasn't died. Deep in my bones, straight from inside. All systems go. Sun hasn't died. Deep in my bones, straight from inside. All systems go. Sun hasn't died. Deep in my bones, straight from inside. I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones enough to make my systems grow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm radioactive, radioactive. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm radioactive, radioactive.
Wait a minute. Here's your brother.
Oh, fell in your room.
Watch yourself down there.
Miss Darko, I'm Bob Garland. I'm with the FAA.
The what?
I'm with the FAA. If you don't mind, we'd like to speak to you and your husband privately.
Private?
Please.
All right.
Plane parts are scattered across Broomfield after a failed engine resulted in this, an exposed engine and a visible fire while still in flight.
United Airlines Flight 328 was headed for Honolulu. It turned back around and landed safely at DIA. All 231 passengers and 10 crew members are okay, and there have been no reports of any injuries on the ground either. But there is property damage after debris fell from the sky and landed in front of homes and in parks across Broomfield.
Broomfield police say they don't know the extent of the property damage right now.
So can I agree with that? And my fact did come from the Edelman Trust Index, you'll be pleased to know, but also borne out by the work I've done as a CEO in my time. Can I also add that I think there are real technology opportunities here. I personally do not believe that trying to shut things down in terms of information is either practical or desirable. And we do have, I think, a couple of strategies that are available to us, one of which is the flood strategy, second of which is relying and informing and equipping trusted sources of information with the facts so they can then pass that on. But we also need to actually think about a technological answer to this. So there is work that's being done to actually create algorithms to sift through information on these kind of social media platforms. And I know that the Gates Foundation and others are funding organisations to work on things like this in order that people can actually have more confidence in the sources that they will use in any event. So I think both a detailed solution working with individuals, but then also thinking about technology is something we have to advance.
Hasti.
So looping back into the trust barometer, last year in Davos it was released that trust in traditional media sources has grown, while trust in social media sources has gone down, specifically after the last elections in the United States. So I think one of the ways that we need to approach this is to make sure that we have the right representatives on traditional media networks in order to portray our side of the story and make sure that there isn't misinformation. I agree with Jane that shutting down internet is only going to cause extra panic and extra anxiety. In fact, that staff tells me places where internet access has been shut down, there's unrest growing. So we're not only dealing with this specific situation, but really people not trusting their governments at this point. And so I think we really need to make sure, one, from a news perspective, that information is being disseminated correctly and that we have the right resources out there to provide this information. I also think that there is a good point in trusting in employees, in your employers. There are lots of communications channel. For example, during the Ebola crisis at Texas Children's Hospital, we had daily briefings with the CDC to tell us what the situation was. And because of those daily briefings, we used between the intranet, internal global communications, and town halls, we use those sources to be able to disseminate information and make sure that our employees knew exactly what was going on, coming straight from the source, whether it was from our CEO, our chief nursing officer, or others within the hospital.
Okay.
What exactly were you wearing at the airport?
This morning in the Atlanta airport, I was wearing exactly what I have on right now. High-grade safety goggles for splashes, a mask for contamination and aerosolized products, and coveralls that's fluid impermeable. In addition to that, Playtex gloves and large rubber boots is exactly what we need for PPE for treating Ebola and other highly infectious diseases.
And doctor, what prompted you to travel wearing protective gear?
You know, I've been consumed with epidemics and pandemics for a couple of decades. I'm a microbiologist, an emergency trauma doctor, and for the past few months, it's been like I've been obsessed Googling it every 2 hours, and I just am connecting the dots and thinking, the CDC and the president, they are not being honest with what we in the trenches, us physicians, actually feel about the propensity to get clusters imported to the United States. A couple of weeks ago, the president said it's a very slim chance, but the same week, it was going person to person in the United States. The doctors in the trenches, we knew this would happen. We knew we would get plenty of clusters, and I wanted to get the word out to the American public that the government is sugarcoating what we need to know.
And I know you had a message emblazoned on the back of your suit, so tell me, what is your message to America?
My message to America, written on the back of my suit, is the CDC is lying. My message to America is if they're not lying, they're terribly derelict in their duty. Because anybody can figure out that once this virus consumes every third world country on the planet, and it will because they lack the infrastructure, medical infrastructure, they lack faith in the government and the resources they need. Once it consumes and the sanitation, once it consumes every third world country, we'll be importing clusters on a weekly, daily, and hourly basis. I don't care how advanced the civilization is, the culture is, or the industry. It's going to eventually overwhelm our system to track, quarantine, and contain this disease.
What should the CDC do differently?
I came through international customs yesterday in Atlanta, 10,000 people an hour sometimes. And you know, they didn't ask me one question except, oh, did I have any tobacco and alcohol? Not if I'd been sick, not if I'd been overseas. I happen to come from Guatemala. Yet, and today, the front page of USA Today, they say, oh, we're screening at airports, it's going to be okay. There was no screening at the second busiest airport in the world last night. That is dereliction of duty of the CDC. They need to step up to the plate. We need to get this ball rolling if there's hope for mankind with this terrible epidemic that's going to become a pandemic.
What kind of a danger do you believe we are in?
I believe that we are in grave danger. If we don't get this under control, I think the face of mankind will change forever on planet Earth.
what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You know,
Chris?
Sorry. No, I think a complementary tactic too is to tap faith-based organizations and civil society and other institutions to recruit them also to basically, almost at a grassroots level, continue to basically have the integrity of the information.
More seniors got their first dose of the vaccine this morning at an Orlando church. News 6's Amanda Castro was there as we're starting to learn more about the racial gap in who is getting the shot.
One by one, cars pull into the Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church. They're not here for Sunday morning service. Instead, they're accepting a different offering as they roll down their windows and roll up their sleeves to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
In order to achieve community-level immunity during this pandemic, we have to make sure that every zip code, every community has access to the vaccine.
For yourself endangers the common good. Body contact causes suffering. Facial expression is excessive. Solitary confinement is safe. Minding your health is excessive. Closeness is dangerous. Sterility is essential. Aloneness is the answer. Restrictions are freedom. Restrictions are freedom. Restrictions are freedom. The government is your family. The new normal is here. Pharmaceutical companies love you. Everyone loves the pharmaceutical companies. Vaccination is charity.
Calculations are correct.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
But a bright line in the sand, and we will protect you, that I can tell you, and we will say enough is enough.
Of the future, and we the children swear to thee loyal devotion, fearless devotion, and to die with dignity. Sing to the faithful members of the
Google. Ordering a pizza in 2022. Caller. Is this Pizza Hut? Google. No sir, it's Google Pizza. Caller. I must have dialed the wrong number, sorry. Google. No sir, Google bought Pizza Hut last month. Caller. Okay, I would like to order a pizza. Google. Do you want your usual, sir? Caller. My usual? You know me? Google. According to our calorie data sheet, the last 12 times you called you ordered an extra large pizza with 3 cheeses, sausage, pepperoni, mushrooms and meatballs on the thick crust. Caller. Super. That's what I'll have. Google. May I suggest that this time you order a pizza with ricotta, arugula, sun-dried tomatoes and olives on a whole wheat gluten-free thin crust? Caller. What? I don't want a vegetarian pizza. Google. Your cholesterol is not good, sir. Caller. How the hell do you know that? Google. Well, we cross-reference your home phone number with your medical records. We have the result of your blood tests for the last 7 years. Caller. Okay, but I do not want your rotten vegetarian pizza. I already take medication for my cholesterol. Google. Excuse me, sir, but you have not taken your medication regularly. According to our database, you purchased only a box of 30 cholesterol tablets once at Lloyd's Pharmacy 4 months ago. Caller. I bought more from another pharmacy. Google. That doesn't show on your credit card statement. Caller. I paid in cash. Google. But you did not withdraw enough cash according to your bank statement. Caller. I have other sources of cash. Google. That doesn't show on your latest tax returns, unless you bought them using an undeclared income source, which is against the law. Caller. What the heck? Google. I'm sorry, sir. We use such information only with the sole intention of helping you. Caller. Enough already. I'm sick to death of Google, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp and all the others. I'm going to an island without the internet, TV, where there is no phone service and no one to watch me or spy on me. Google. I understand, sir, but you need to renew your passport first. It expired 6 weeks ago.
What are you doing with the rest of your life?
Catching up on some me time, find God.
My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. My soul loves Jesus. Bless his name. My soul, it loves Jesus. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yes it does. Oh, yeah, my soul. My soul
Over in the midnight hour, my soul, he speaks to my soul, tells me everything is gonna be all right. Jesus set me free.